Sup, this is David, and in this video I want to show you how you can scale your coaching or consulting offers to $50,000 a month in MRR and beyond. And you can do this easily with the three-dimensional, what I like to call the three-dimensional trust rule. So when you're making an offer, it's going to be really hard for somebody to buy something from you if they don't trust you, right? So this is all about creating that trust. And so I want to start off with the 7-11-4 rule. And if you are familiar with marketing, if you've been involved with marketing, maybe you've heard of this, but this is the study that Google did that figured out that you needed on average 7, 11, and 4 for someone to buy from you. So 7 stands for 7 hours of interactions. So maybe if they watch 7 hours of content before they purchase from you, 11 different touch points, which means 11 different videos or posts that they've read, and 4 different platforms. So imagine this, right? If you spent 7 hours with someone, had 11 different meaningful interactions, and then you met in 4 different locations, you probably start to feel like a real connection, right? So it would feel less like a casual acquaintance and more like a friendship. So this instinct makes sense from an evolutionary standpoint. So our early ancestors, they needed to figure out who they could trust within their tribe, right? And who might pose a threat. So if 2 people have shared this, meaningful time together, exchanged experiences, and connected across various different settings, it signals that they're part of this same tribe, right? Same social group. And so I thought, okay, that might be a good general guideline, but is it always true? That's the question. Is it always true? So it's a solid baseline to start, but these things can be bypassed, right? So sometimes, some people buy within the first hour. Some people are just quick decision makers and they decide to, just buy. Some people buy in a few days. Some people buy in the first year. It might take longer sometimes. And some people might buy next year. So it all depends, right? It all depends. But you have to think about the underlying principle here. So why is there a need for the 7-11-4? It's because of trust, right? We're trying to build trust and connection with our audience and our prospects so that they can buy from us. And showcasing your expertise and authority, and that you can actually help them in whatever goal you're trying to help them to achieve, right? That is it. It's just trust. As long as you can instill that to your prospects, it's just a matter of making offers. And in general, the more touch points and places you share with someone, the more likely they are to see you as familiar, trustworthy, and kind of one of us. In this way, kind of like fame, right? Imagine all the famous people and the celebrities that that is just the result of a type of a 7-11-4 rule, right? It's a kind of a derivative of that. Fame is just the result of someone using media and technology to scale the 7-11-4 experience. Think about the Leos, the Brads, the Kardashians of the world, and ChatGPT did a really good job in this for this photo here. But think about the famous people, right? They just use media as leverage to make it seem that we know them, right? So they have surpassed that 7 hours of interaction, the 11 different interactions, and we watch them in different movies, and so we know them from an asymmetrical standpoint. And because it feels like we know them, that trust factor is factored in. Okay, when you provide enough free digital content that anyone interested can dive into, via social or email or videos, we are scaling our trust. Okay, we are scaling our personality so that people can, get to know us, and then they'll be able to feel like we are part of the same tribe. And you can build a sense of connection halfway across the world, right? Of course, not always, right? There will always be non-buyers. No matter what kind of audience or what kind of people are in your list, there will always be non-buyers who will never buy, not just from you, but who will just not buy ever from anybody, right? Those who will never buy anything, no matter how many hours of content they watch, right? So you wouldn't want these people in your tribe anyway, so gotta let them go. There will always be haters in life. There will always be critics. There will always be non-buyers. Just part of life and business. And so we're focused on the buyer group, right? These are the actual intelligent group, the ego-free group, because getting help from someone, getting coaching or consulting or information, it compresses time. It freaking compresses time, and time is more valuable than money. So they just traded money for something less valuable, or money, which is something less valuable, for time, which is more valuable, okay? So they traded that for time, info, and accountability, which is something more valuable, which is much more intelligent than any non-buyer. So 7-11-4 is a great baseline to follow, but remember, it's also about trust. Okay, trust. And to create trust, you have to show your humanness. Show that you are a human being. Show like your face, show your voice, show your personality. Show that you care and you can actually help them. Create insights for them. Show them new perspectives, new ways of doing things, like what you discovered, what works and what doesn't work too. Be truthful. Add a little emotion and continue to make offers, and the 7-11-4 will fulfill itself. By the way, before the Google study of like 7-11-4, there was a follow-up principle. Okay, so there was a previous study done many years ago that they found out that it takes an average of like 8 touch points for someone to buy something. So like this number has increased over time, right? And in the digital world, you need more than you think. So it's not like, okay, let's just fulfill the average of like 11 different touch points and then be at it. It's a lot more than you think, actually. So think about like email, right? Think about email. So not everybody is going to open your email, okay? Because let's say like you have like an average like open rate of like 30%, okay? That means you need to send at least 3 times that amount for like 100% of your audience to read the email. And so you have to make up for that 30% open rate, right? So instead of 11 emails, you need at least 33. And I want to say this is, at least more. You need more to get to that 11 touch points. And that's open rates. I'm not even factoring in reading rates, which is a different story, because not everyone that opens will read the entire thing. They might like skim like the first few lines and then close the email, So that's only email, and it's not including the 3 different platforms that you need to have touch points at, right? And even in emails, so what I do is like in my emails, I like try to send you to like a YouTube video that I made. Like I have like Instagram posts, and like now I'm starting like my X account too. So I also have a different theory that can be used in conjunction with the 7-11-4. And that is the what I like to call the 3-dimensional trust rule. Okay, so 3-dimensional trust rule. So it includes the 2 major senses, but with multiple dimensions. So like we have like the different senses, like sight, hearing, touch, and smell, whatever. But I'm including the 2 major ones. And the 2 major ones are sight and sound. And with sight, there are different ways on how we can reach that sense of sight, right? So we can reach it with text, we can reach it with images, video, and with sound, we can do it a couple of different ways. We can do it auditorily with, like a podcast, or we can do it with a video. So video actually covers most of these dimensions to create that trust, right? And trust can be heightened if you actually show your face. I learned this a long time ago, but then just like having like a picture of somebody on a sales page, like increases sales by so much. So if you can show your face, trust is heightened. And you can do that either with image or video. So you can hit the 3 dimensions by making videos, which covers both sight and sound, text-based content, which covers sight. So you can send like emails or like blog posts or like, X messages, X tweets. Image-based content, which is also sight, right? Like your IG posts. The majority of people use sight as their lead representation. This is a theory in NLP, something called a lead representation. And I want to go as far as to say that sight, I think, is the most valuable sense that we have. Okay, I think it is hardwired into our human brain and our biology, because in evolution, our ancestors, they had to rely on sight like a lot for their survival, right? Because if an animal was attacking you, or if you were like hunting out there, you needed sight, right? You needed to like predict the animal's movement in order to freaking survive, right? So you need to predict the animal's movement. So it's crucial that you use sight for survival. Sound, I believe it's secondary, or like second only to sight, because you also needed sound to be able to survive. Because if you're like sleeping at night and then animal was like creeping up on you, you needed like that sense for your survival, right? And then like the other ones, they're not as urgent, I want to say. They are somewhat necessary, but not as urgent as those 2. So the other senses we didn't need as urgently, right? So when you combine the two main senses of sight and sound, along with the multi dimensions of like these touch points, voila, you get something that's close to the 7-11-4. Because the underlying, okay, this is great trust again, and we're doing it in a way that aligns with our biological signature. That's why I call it the 3-dimensional trust rule. And we can massively accelerate trust by using what I like to call the king of the internet, and ChatGPT, it just creates some awesome images nowadays. So the king of the internet is probably not what you think. Like, it's also, I believe, what is the king of building trust, especially in the back end, okay? Which leads from someone becoming a lead to becoming a client. So the king of the internet, or at least like internet communication, I believe is email. And it still is, okay? So you have to think about it from first order principles here, okay? So it's one of the first tools to be created in tandem with the actual internet itself. And really think about it, right? The internet infrastructure is built on email. It's built on email. It's like the concrete of the internet world, like the foundations of the freaking internet that we're using today. And so here's another picture by ChatGPT. It's on fire, man. These pictures are really nice. So first principles, let's think about it like this, right? Like, how did you sign up for that social media account? Like, how did you sign up for your Instagram? Like, how did you sign up for YouTube? How did you freaking sign up for like the Apple ID, right? You used email, right? It all points back to email. Yes, there's like the occasional like phone number you can sign up with, but these are rare. Like, most people use email, and you need it for almost everything online. Like, it's the freaking infrastructure that internet is built on. And think about it nowadays, like, how do you get your bills, right? You get them through email. Like, how do you get reminders for your internet or phone bill? How do you communicate with like a professional like company out there? I don't know, maybe you needed some kind of professional help. Wouldn't you want to try to like email that person? How about your bank account? What did you use to sign an email, right? In fact, on average, a person checks their email on an average of 15 times a day. And then I kind of look back on my life and I'm like, how many times do I check email? Because I check a freaking lot, right? And it's pretty close to this number. Like, I want to say it's a lot, many times a day, more so than any of my other like social media accounts, because email is like crucial. Like, I get like, bills and everything through my email, right? And over 50% of people begin their day by checking their email, while only 11 check their Facebook. Plus, with email, we're not at the mercy of the social media algorithms, because if we have good deliverability, it gets sent to everybody on our list, right? But that's not the best part. Let me show you some data points about emails that will excite you. So email marketing ROI is anywhere from 36 to 42 times. Okay, ROI is 36 to 42 times. Email converts 40% better than any social media. And it's times, not percent. It converts 40 times better. And 81% of phone users say email is the most popular activity that they use their phone for. And here's like the ROI graph. So like, email on average is like 36 times. So 1 in, 36 times out. And SEO, and then here's Google Ads, right? So the ROI for email marketing is anywhere from 42 times ROI. That's times, not percentage. So every dollar you spend, you get $42 back, right? I'll bet it doesn't happen like instantly. These happen, over time. And these stats are a little bit old, but these numbers have been increasing from like the data that I've seen in the past. These numbers have been going up. So we post our content on like different socials, but we also send an email to remind them of the content that we post on the social. So if you made a content about like a video on YouTube, then you can also send them an email about it, pointing to that video. And you can also use digital leverage like AI and like digital tools to make this happen as well. So currently I'm using like this crazy, like automated system. Like I just like post once and then like it freaking like posts like everywhere else. And I'm sharing this with my clients. I post once and like magic, like AI repurposes that content into other socials, both text-based and video. So I hit again like that multi-dimensional trust factor that I talked about earlier. So again, the whole point is acquire trust, give value, showcase expertise, make offers, give them a reason to act now, and the rest is just, getting the right people into your tribe. And if you want more info regarding this and how we can create trust building emails, my email automation system, so you can just like copy and paste into like your own Go High Level account, and add tremendous digital leverage to your business so you can scale to 50K and beyond without sales calls, by the way, then you can comment down below, scale my business, and I'll send you a free training video to show you exactly how you can get started. Okay. And I said this in a few videos before, but the business model you choose dictates your life. We design our ideal business around an epic life you design, not the other way around. Okay. So the business model is super, super important. And I show you, I believe, one of the best business models, especially in the digital age, in that free video. And we intentionally use very, very high rates of leverage. Okay, so comment down below, scale my business, and I'll send that video to you. So that's it for this video. Hope you found some good value out of this one, and I will talk to you in the next one. Peace.